Okay there. In an effort to keep things loose, well, let's back up. Here's the clock, 11:41. Here's the painting I did this morning, a little 5x7, and I had so much fun doing it, I thought I would do a larger one. And this is the photograph that I took years ago. It was of a garden Quan statue that I owned, that now my friend has, who's a Buddhist, and it sits in her garden pretty. So here's an old painting that is just never worked. So that's what I'm going to paint over. And I'm going to use some, even though I try not to use acrylic products too much, this just dries so much faster than my India ink. So I'm going to use black. And I paint a lot with, I draw a lot with bamboo brushes or bamboo pens. But I think today I'm going to use one of my scruffy Asian brushes. So I have fresh water, fresh clean palette, fresh clean water. Got my sponge here. And let's experiment and see what we can do. Okay, I'm going to start with the black ink. And, you know, I don't try to get exact. I try to just kind of, I think I'll hold this in my hand. I just like to get a feel. And let's see. And let's see. Her face has to be a little smaller. That's one of the biggest problems when you draw faces. They tend to get much bigger than you really want them to be. So let's get some more ink here. Okay, and let's see what we can do here. And let's see, kind of like the way that splits up, kind of like, okay. Something else when you do faces, generally you don't want them straight up and down. You want them a little off somehow. It just adds, I don't know, makes them look better, so make note. Okay, and let's see. What I notice here is her lips. That's what I notice more, and how dark it is over here. And obviously her eyes, and okay, that great big old flower. What are we going to do with that great big old flower there? I don't know, maybe we can incorporate that in. So let's see, if her arm is down this way and her arm is this way. Only problem, these these little Asian brushes, if they dry off, there's just no way to get them back to their shape. You gotta wet them again, more ink. Okay, so that's kind of the basics of it. Okay. So that's how I like to start a painting. Big, bold, black. And it's actually super fun painting over something you've painted before because you get to, I don't know, you can use some of the stuff that comes up. So here it is. And I even had some oil pastel under here, so it's going to be interesting how we get all these textures to work. And once again, I'm always using my gouache. All right. These little things are like those under the shelf liners. They're fabulous for lots of things, but for making things not slip, they're just perfect. Okay, next thing we've got to do is figure out what paints we're going to use. And I think what we're going to do is just reach in my drawer and pull out one yellow. I'm going to reach in my drawer and pull out one red. Oh, look at that, I got purple for the red. So in that case, I'm going to get a pink too. And then let's see what blue comes out in my hands. A cerulean. I don't know if that'll be dark enough, but you know what? Let's go ahead. I grabbed it. Let's use it. So these are the paints that I'm using. I picked out a yellow. I'm using up all my old watercolors and using them with my gouache. I picked out Carbazole Violet, Daniel Smith, and I have a Rhodonite Genuine, because I thought if I'm going to use predominantly purple, then I want to, you know, or the reds, which I'm considering these reds, then I wanted to use 2 of them. Then I have American Journey Cerulean Blue, which is a nice, it's actually considered watercolor, but you know what, it's so opaque that it will work as my blue. If I have to, I will add a little ultramarine blue if I can't get it dark enough, but we'll see. And then I always have a big old whopper, just like I did with oils, a big old whopper white. So here we go. Let me see if I can move you down just for a minute and you can watch me. Here's my white. Alright. Here's my yellow ochre. Maybe I better put this down. Okay. I'm going to put my rhodonite there. My Carbazole Violet there. That's nice and dark. And then let's put my cerulean blue. And I might need a little bit of this just to get a little darker, although the Carbazole Violet might get me dark. So let's start with that. Okay, so here's my colors. Let's leave the colors that we're using for this painting all over on the side here so we don't lose track of them. And now let's see if we can get you back up on my painting here. All right. Sorry. Okay. I'm going to start with, actually you're going to have to wait a minute while I change my water. Be that fussy with gouache with your water, but if you're going to have, if you're going to use ink, you know, ink will just make it kind of messy, so I usually change out after I do the ink. Okay, so I'm trying to get this set up so you can see. Oops, sorry. All right. Here we go. So I'm going to look at this for a little bit just to get some darks and lights in, although mostly we have dark. So I'm going to I'm going to just see what happens when I put different colors in. And if I'm going to put a color somewhere, I'm going to go put it somewhere else. So, and where I want my darkest colors, I'll mix my blues and my purples together because that will give me my darkest. Okay. Let's see, her hand's going to go somewhere around there. And then we have her hand here. And then we're going to have her base. Okay, let's continue. I had to stop there a minute and change the water. I wanted you to be able to watch me mix my paints a little bit, so I came out a little bit. Let's see. Anyway, I think that's the best we can do for right now. Let's see. How's that? Alrighty, let's paint. That's what we were trying to get to. So this is how far we've gotten with the gal. This is what I'm loosely following, at least for my inspiration. So, looks like we covered up my rose, but there's a part of me that wants to save a little bit of that, so I'm gonna just take a little bit of water and I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I may end up covering up the whole thing. And let's see. We can get some lights back here. And alright. Most of the time I just paint opaquely, but I don't know, I just feel like doing this today, so let's see what we can do with that. Okay. So, let's see. Okay. I think we're doing okay for this part. Alright, let's see. Alright, where do I want to go next? I gotta figure out kind of my colors here. So I'm thinking that the lights might be kind of blue. So where I'm seeing lights, well, I'm never consistent. Okay, I'm also going to do some lights that are in the pink. Okay, and then we have her face. So I think I'm just going to shut up for a little bit and paint. Okay, enjoy watching.